Yo, 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 yo. Hidden Knowledge Podcast, episode 57. That's my old football number, by the way.
Is it?
57, yeah.
Mine was 55 because Junior Seau.
Oh, yeah.
You know
of course. Chargers,
Yeah,
man.
Chargers fan.
Yeah.
You know, even though you're my division rival,
Yeah.
you know, but it's all good. I don't really hate.
Respectfully.
Yeah, I don't really hate the Chiefs though.
I know. I
You
don't
what I'm
really
saying?
hate the Chargers. I
You know.
Now, if you're like Broncos, Raiders not so bad, but Broncos.
Yeah, Raiders not so bad either
The
though.
Broncos.
Like, you know.
It's just something about the Broncos in that division. I just don't like them.
Well, maybe because they were kind of dominating the 90s.
Yeah, that John Elway
championships.
shit.
Yeah, John Elway
and Shannon Sharp and all that.
Yeah,
Terrell Davis.
yeah. Shout out to Unc though.
Yeah.
I like Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, Uncle
overall.
Shay.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, he
You know
cool
what I'm saying?
people. But
yeah,
once
anyway.
again,
Anyway.
you already know, we already started like that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's your boy Horton. Here's the Who, H2O, the Cameroon Goon, Choice D, all of the above. Go ahead, Cuzzo, tap
It's
in.
your boy Giuliani. We are here for episode 57, Hidden Knowledge Podcast. You know, hidden knowledge meaning like, you know, we might spit something that might even catch us off guard. You never know, you know. Or there might be some knowledge that we don't pick up on that, we start talking about a certain subject. Somebody might take a gem from it that we're not picking up on. We're just chopping it up. So,
Exactly.
you know, there's hidden knowledge everywhere. Knowledge is infinite, you know. So there you go. You know,
And that's what we
There
bring
you
to
go.
y'all. Okay, let me just go ahead and start tackling these topics.
Yes,
I got a couple
yes.
things
Okay,
I want to talk about.
sure.
First, I know we talked about it a little bit because the last time we were here was right after the Super Bowl. Was it right after the Super Bowl? How long has it been? Because the Super Bowl was the first.
We came here February. The last one we did was February. Oh, by the way, before you get into that, I haven't released a couple episodes lately because, you know, it's been a crazy 2 weeks. Last couple weeks has been personal, business, work, all this stuff. It's just been a cluster. So I'm going to release 2 episodes today on YouTube. I'm releasing them back to back, double feature style. Is happening. I just want to throw that out there. But go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good, dude.
I just wanted to let people know
I'm
because
trying to make sure I got these days right.
Okay. Yeah, because the last episode we did do was before the Super Bowl. It was.
It was before.
Yeah, it was.
So we haven't talked about anything since the Super Bowl, like from what happened from the
no,
Super
we
Bowl?
haven't talked about the aftermath of the Super Bowl. None of that. I don't think.
All right. Well, first and foremost,
I mean, we can kind of touch
moment
it.
of silence to my Chiefs.
Oh yeah, man. Whoo. Jeez Louise.
We watched
They
the
got
Super Bowl at our
toe
homies
up.
Rob.
Toe up from the flow up.
I was ready, so ready for the game. You see, I'm not wearing no Chief apparel right now.
Oh man, y'all should have seen him during the game. It was a sad sight. It was. We had to console him. We had to, cheer him up. Like, it's gonna be all right.
Glasses right
it's
now.
gonna be okay.
I take out my glasses right now.
Oh man,
I haven't watched any football since.
man. And you know what? The highlight of the Super Bowl, I would say, was the halftime show. That's what I would
And
say.
that's where we're gonna get into.
And yes, I got some cookies on deck.
And the glasses go back on because I just had to share that moment for my Chiefs. We will be back next year, stronger. Hopefully, we don't know. I'm not gonna be like a delusional Cowboys fan and say next year's the year.
Right.
I'm just taking it game by game at this point, like I was this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right.
That's
The
all you
halftime.
can. I mean, that's all
Yeah,
you can do.
that's all
I
you
mean,
can
what
do.
can you do at this point? you know?
Exactly.
So,
So halftime show. Let's go ahead. So Kendrick performs a halftime show, and it gets a little spicy because everyone's like, "What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do?" He had a little chain on that had an A on it.
Yep.
A minor.
I didn't realize that until like after
I know.
After.
Yep.
I was like, oh, wow.
A little subliminals in there, Easter eggs, and
he's
gems drop.
He's going in on him, like
Yeah.
all the way in on him. I was like, wow.
Certain people like
Not giving
Serena
a damn.
Williams was there, who is
Yes.
Drake's ex.
Yes. Yes.
And apparently, the reason why Serena Williams was there and was willing to do it was there was a time where after they broke up, years and years after they broke up, and Serena Williams already moved on and got married.
Right.
He says something to her husband about her, like mentioning her, like like that was me. Like, hey, I enjoy that. Like just a little jab. Where she like, really, bro? Like that was years ago. Like, move on. Like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you being all extra? Why she was more willing to just go Team Kendrick and just
Drake is in Australia right now.
He's struggling.
And he's performing live concerts in Australia.
He's struggling.
There was a clip I saw him where he had like a mic and he was pretending like it was like an AR-15 rifle. He goes, it just looked corny. I was just like,
someone threw a DeRozan jersey on, and then he chunked that shit back down. Yeah, because DeRozan's from Compton too. Yeah. But then he played in Toronto.
Yeah. Now there's something that happened. To
they
Drake.
were friends, but of course DeRozan chose Kendrick.
Of course.
Just like Serena, who's also from Compton, chose Kendrick. They're gonna stick to their city over this motherfucker.
But they also have like a slight history because DeRozan played in Toronto.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Serena
what I'm saying. And their exes, like they're both close to Drake.
Right.
But they chose the city over him. But like apparently, the reason why like I'm diving even deeper about like Drake's side of this is that a lot more dirt's coming out on Drake, that he was not that good of a person in the industry.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, but like you see how exactly it doesn't surprise you, but at the same time, you see how fake people are. That now that he's finally getting outed, now no one has his back and shit. He's feeling like all isolated. What happened? Drake was so highly liked by everybody, huh?
There was something that happened to Drake that I don't approve of. I didn't like it. You seen the video where a drone flew into his penthouse? Somebody flew a drone because he was staying like at the top of this big old building. Someone flew a drone into his like penthouse. Like this fool had a laptop like this set up on a table with like a glass of like, it looked like Chardonnay mixed with orange juice or like
he likes that shit.
Some sort of like peach fruit punch.
Like
I don't know what it was. Passion fruit or like maybe like
he be drinking that shit.
Pomegranate or something.
Yeah, he's gay like that.
So it was in like not a sifter
that.
glass, but it was a
no shame to the LGBT+.
It was in a wine glass, and I was like, he would. That's so Drake right there. That's ridiculous. But anyway, the drone was sitting there looking at his laptop, like straight invasion of his privacy. That I don't like that. I don't agree with that. And then Drake, you see Drake come out the sliding door he was walking towards the patio from the inside. He saw the drone and he was like, what the heck? So like he grabbed like a shoe from inside and like tried to throw the shoe at the drone and he missed, of course. But once that happened, like Drake was just like, what do you, he's like looking back at his laptop, looking back at the drone, and the drone flew away. But I was like, bro, that's not cool. That's not cool.
That's some invasion of privacy.
Yeah, that right there.
That's crazy work.
That's creepy. Now
that's crazy. Niggas could really just be flying drones into you.
Now that is creepy. You talking about, okay, there's one thing, there's levels to like creep. There's levels to, that's, okay, you can stalk somebody, but then if you take a drone up to the top of a building just to creep and spy on somebody, now that's another level.
That's some devotion, bro.
That's another level,
that's some dedication.
Yeah.
That's some determination.
But you know what was crazy? I read the comments in that video and people were like laughing and clowning Drake. I was like, so nobody's going to highlight the fact that the invasion of privacy was just completely strict.
Some people would look past the principle of the thing.
I said,
and
look,
just be like in their feelings, well, I don't like the person. So
I don't like Drake. He still took an L. But it's not even about that, bro, when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Like, imagine you in his shoes.
Exactly.
Like, put yourself that's critical thinking. People like critical thinking, bro.
Yeah, that was not cool when I saw that. Take your feelings
out of it, bro. Yeah, I'd see, like, just hearing that, like, I wasn't laughing.
Yeah, I was
more like,
at all.
damn, that's fucked up.
Yeah, I was like,
my initial reaction was to troll.
When I saw the video in real time, I was like,
the fact that
what the hell is this?
The fact that there's full video of that nigga's personal shit, like that's like, bro, that's a violation. That's
not cool.
Bro. That's that level of intrusion, like, he's not even out in public where paparazzi could get him. Like, he's in his own private. Right. And the niggas are just sneaking drones into his own private. Oh,
it's whack.
bro.
It's whack.
Yeah, niggas gotta get put work. That nigga should get some work put on him. Think twice before doing that peeping Tom shit.
I don't know.
Weird ass nigga.
I don't know if it's too late to send a clip to Quincy real quick to email something. Would it be too late?
Because he has to still like upload it.
Okay. Yeah.
So it might take a little time. Unless you do it now and see if it could be the last thing. How long is it?
No, I just want to play like a certain section of it. That's all. It's a YouTube clip. But you can go ahead. I mean, we yeah. We ain't I'll just find it real quick.
I was gonna say that Kendrick Lamar, since that halftime, he broke a record that only being the ninth artist to do is to get 100 million live streamers in the month.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's one of the 9 artists in history to do it on Spotify. So yeah, he broke that record just because of that. Yeah, thank you, Drake. Yeah, man, but like,
oh my gosh,
you find out that this dude has a record of like he always goes at his ops, like females in his ops, like Mos Def's daughter that just turned 18. He followed her on IG,
right?
Because him and Mos Def had beef.
Yeah.
So he followed his daughter as soon as she turned 18, and she's a rapper too. It's like, what kind of... Well, why? Why are you doing these things? Like,
right.
They're weird.
Yeah.
Like, that's just weird shit. Like, he'll follow, like, his ops, girls that his ops fuck with, or, like, family members of his ops.
Right.
Just to, like, and then make a cryptic note. Yeah, so I guess we all close now. I guess we're closer now, huh? With a little sticker. Like, bro, that's how karma, that, like, once you start realizing all this shit, it was only a matter of time.
Only a matter of time.
It was going to all catch up to him.
Only
Little
a matter
Mr.
of time.
Degrassi, Jimmy Graham, right? That's his name on Degrassi?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, Aubrey Graham is his name.
Aubrey Graham is his
I forget, but Jimmy is his name on the damn show.
Yeah.
Nigga got shot in the back. Died put in a wheelchair.
Man.
He been stabbing niggas in the back. Oh man, dog.
But yeah, you know.
But yep.
That's what.
But yeah, Kanye, meanwhile, he hijacks a commercial on the damn Super Bowl. He ended up getting a commercial. He ends up promoting his shit.
He got a commercial during the Super Bowl?
Yeah, so he could promote that shit that he ended up getting taken down with the shirts and the clothes. He had a jacket that was supposed to resemble Cassie when she got beat up by Diddy in the hotel. The jacket she was wearing. He was going to be selling that with the swastika shirt.
What? I didn't see this commercial. I didn't see it.
Well, the commercial was like, he's on his phone, and he's just talking about like, hey, yeah, I got something new coming out. Check it out. And then it has the link, boom, and then it's quick. And it's like from his phone. He paid like $20 million for that.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It was one of the commercials during the Super Bowl. He had a commercial.
How come I didn't see that?
Yep. Kanye is a crazy motherfucker. And there's a rumor that now him and his wife might be.
Yeah, I heard about that. Him and his wife splitting.
And apparently it was her idea. The whole clothes thing.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, but everyone thought it was him.
Yeah, because it was so like outlandish and just out there. Yeah.
But then when you see it again, he wasn't like full. He just stood by her. He just stood there while she did it. She did everything. He just
right.
Because apparently he didn't want her to do it, but he like, just stand by me. And he just stood by her, and she did it anyway. Yeah. And that's the cause of the ruffle. But yeah, man, there's a lot of shit that's happened with these motherfuckers, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Do you have any clips to play?
Yeah, I got a couple. You want me to play one right now?
Yeah, we can go ahead and get to yours. I sent you my bad. I sent you the link, Quincy, too, by the way. I don't know if you'll have time to upload it.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. You could start it from like 20 seconds in. But go ahead. You can start with yours, though.
Oh, yeah. You use my first clip for me? Yeah. Let me see if I remember.
Most women are average, just like most men are average. And we sell this dream, we sell this fantasy. I call it the Disney effect. The concept of soulmates, the one, unconditional love, all of these things that women feed into, and then they want that from the type of guy that they want it from, which is typically the top 10% of men. But every woman can't have a top 10% of men. And every man is not a top 10% guy. Every man is not going to be a top 10% guy. Most are going to fall on that average, within that average distribution on the distribution curve. And as a woman, if you understand I'm not super unique, it's called in-group heterogeneity. It's a bias. It's where you think you're unique amongst the group that you identify with. And that's what I tell women. Most of us are average. You can't think you deserve a certain type of man and you're not that type of woman, and chances are you're not the type of woman that you think you are in your head.
Most men find most women to be at least somewhat attractive. In contrast, women on average view 80% of men as below average in attractiveness. Another study found that on the dating app Tinder, men liked more than 60% of the female profiles they view, while women liked only 4.5% of male profiles. I didn't realize that 80% of men as below average. That's quite off.
It is, because, you would think like 50%, right? It's sort of like 50% above and 50% below, but to have 80% rated below is pretty grim.
Because of the increased risk women carry, they tend to be choosier about their partners. In contrast, men are less discerning. Studies of online dating, for example, find that...
All right, y'all. Here's the question. Why do men tend to marry more average-looking women than 8, 9s, and 10s? Well, y'all, your girl got an answer for you. I did some research, so let's get into it. So the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology did a study. Men were asked to indicate what they preferred in a mate: physical attractiveness, earning potential, or personality traits. And as we know, chose physical attractiveness. The study paired them with their ideal type and allowed them to have a conversation. Unfortunately, after that conversation, most men lost interest. Psychotherapists from the study said this: in long term, looking for qualities that make them feel comfortable and empowered, and the ability to trust their partner. There was more insecurity expressed when dealing with more beautiful women, the fear of losing them to other suitors. Men tend to select someone who seems like a more reasonable option, doesn't stretch them out of their comfort zone. It's an evolutionary thing. Men ended up liking the women they liked more as people than the women that were most attractive.
I feel like a lot of women do need to be able to trust their partner, right? And when they're, especially when he's the one that's leading. But to me, I feel like a leader in any type of sense, whether you're a man or whether you're at work, whether you're leading children, whatever it is that you're doing, you're in any type of leadership role and you have people following you, you need to be able to understand how people feel, right? What their wants and what their goals is. Just because you're a leader doesn't give you the right to tell somebody, oh, don't do this and don't do that. Whether, like, for instance, it's like, I don't know which one of y'all said it, but you guys are speaking on you wanted to go to school for certain things or whatever the case may be. I feel like every human being should have a right to pursue their goals and their dreams. Just because you married and just because someone is the head right in front, that doesn't mean that you just put all your desires and your stuff on the back burner. I don't think that's a good leader to me. And I don't mean no disrespect to anybody. I just feel like a good leader also makes sure the people that's following him is happy as well. Because just because you're the leader doesn't mean you're first. A leader actually is one of the people that makes the most sacrifices. They put themselves last in the sense of things that needs to be done, right? You making sure you're making the best decision for everybody and not just yourself. Um, it was another point that I wanted to make before I got off of here. Damn, I forgot. But yeah, so that's all I basically wanted to. Oh yeah, hold on. You said that you would have quit your job, girl. No.
I was thinking about if I was just dating my child's father, I would, because if he's telling me that, because the way I feel is the person I wanted to marry, he considered my feelings so much and he knew my wants and needs and he just knew what would make me happy. And he always gave me what make me happy. So I don't think he would even ask me to do something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but if he did ask me to do something like that, I would feel like it's important. And it's the reason why he's like, I would trust him. After we have a conversation, I think he'll be able to get through to me. But that's why I said it's like they want women to be like come in one type of way, and there's different type of women out here, and that's the reason why there's different type of men. And we might not be like the basic, like the majority. Like it's a lot of, you know, like, you know what I'm saying, like being part of the masses in America, like this country out of all people, is not always the best thing. So yeah, it's just like, yeah, I might not be the majority or the norm, but there's men out there who do not mind their woman working. And I think after a certain time, and after a certain, like once you have so much saved up and you get to your goal quicker, now we can take off and we both can, you feel me, we can spend even more time together. You know what I'm saying? At a younger age. But yeah, to each his own.
I don't know what you're saying, because most women are average. I mean, when I say most, we're talking about the tune of 90%. Y'all don't make a lot of money.
And most people are average. That's why I said the average person.
You see, Jasmine, I get cut off too. Now, what I don't understand is that I see that. Yeah, but you know, it's just we don't have to be aggressive with each other. I just you had to throw that in there. Yeah, but I wasn't aggressive. I wasn't aggressive. Okay, listen, I want to apologize to y'all though, because my lady told me my disposition is bad, and the reason why it's bad is because I'm not sitting in a chair; I'm sitting on a stool. And after you sit on a stool for a while, you start to slouch and whatnot. So I won't come on here on a stool anymore. I'll be in a chair. But I just, it's amazing to me. No matter, every time I get on an Instagram live, I'm watching a TikTok live, I'm seeing a live stream on YouTube, all of the women are just so exceptional, unique. They're one of a kind. They're so rare. Women like me, I'm different. Y'all all got the same talking points. Y'all all say I feel 1 million times. None of y'all know how to change a battery in a smoke detector. Y'all are all on the same level. Most of y'all broke. Most of y'all want a man who's doing better than y'all. Most of y'all are overeducated, but don't have the type of education that produce revenue. Y'all are all the same. And it's so crazy because y'all have the most arrogance in the world. Y'all can't beat a man. Y'all can't outrun a man. Y'all ain't stronger than a man. Most of y'all ain't smarter than men. Y'all are inferior on almost every single level. But guess what? That's okay with men, because men say, you know what? I'll step in the gap for you in all of these areas that you're inadequate. I just need you to be a woman who submits to me and respects me. If you respect me, you don't even have to love me. You know why? Because if you respected a man, he wouldn't even know if you loved him or not. He wouldn't even look for whether or not you loved him. But if you don't respect him, there's no way he will associate you as a woman that loves him. Y'all out of order like a mother effer. I'm just amazed, because I'm like, I look at my female friends, my siblings, my cousins, and I'm looking at them. I'm like, y'all some fucking losers. All of y'all women are just running around, yelling, talking, broke as hell, credit bad, in debt like a mother. It's just insane how y'all are just so damn arrogant. Sorry about my little rant, but I just get y'all are insane. Yeah.
Oh man!
If I could add one thing before,
and y'all can't live without us. So next, you right. We'll stand in the gap for all of that insanity. You are absolutely right.
As
you love y'all in spite of.
Great. I will say this just to clear something up for the audience.
Yeah, but y'all
it's been said a lot. It's been said a lot on this network. A lot. I feel it's actually a replacement of principles and standards. So when you hear somebody say, I feel like. Yeah,
Derwin, he's pretty cool.
It doesn't have any principles behind it or any standards. They're literally deviated from any principles and standards. So they take on the I feel. It's a substitute. And then whenever I think I asked before she left, she mentioned leadership. People always make sacrifices to make whoever's under them happy. That is also false. And if you heard that and you took that in, you should erase that from your mind. And everything you do as a leader, you always place the mission first, no matter what you do. If you're the leader on a job, it's the mission, the task, the assignments, that's priority, no matter what. Even at the expense of your employees being disgruntled or unhappy. In the military, the mission is always first, no matter if motherfuckers' leg is blown off. You're always gonna go do the mission first, no matter what. Happiness is nobody gives a fuck about that. So just make sure y'all understand that in case y'all got confused with that.
Yep, there you go. That was some cooking, man. Like even down to the last part, I'm gonna go from the end to the beginning,
right?
And like even from the last part to what Derwin was saying, like that happiness part and like how they prioritize their happiness over their duty,
right?
And like my last girlfriend was divorced, had a kid with her ex-husband, but she divorced because she wasn't happy, and she didn't like her daughter seeing her not happy. Because she could see how her daughter was reacting to her not seeing her be happy. But chose that over keeping the family together.
Wow. And
like from that alone, it's just like I see the priorities to when it comes to like not all, nothing's a monolith, nothing's absolute, but a lot of these women where a lot of men are not fully committing in the market anymore, like to marriage and stuff like that. Like maybe smashing, maybe like a little relationship here and there, don't work out, on to the next. But like that long-term commitment thing is fading because of that. Because they could just walk on the dime like that. And then on top of that, when it comes to the whole idea of like you want a man to be the best man that he could be, but only by your terms are you going to actually submit and follow that man's lead. But you want a leader, but by your terms. Like... you're still dictating. You're still calling the shots. Like he's not leading. He's only leading by what you are approved. Like you're still making the calls on his behalf. A real man is what is good for me. It's just so one sided. It's just ass backwards. And what happened to reciprocation? Because like it's only it's chivalry only whenever it benefits them. And all that. Open the door. Protect me. If we get robbed, you go downstairs, all that shit. I'm going to stay up here, though. But then, like, I don't have to fully submit and support you. And, like, there's another part. I watched that whole Zoom call thing with them. And there's another part where it was like, okay, she's like, well, one of the light-skinned chick didn't want to give up her career for a man that even if he could provide, he's like, hey, I want you to stop your career so we can do the family thing first. And then he's like, okay, then if you don't give up your career, he has a simple question like, will you? Because like, if you're gonna still submit to your man, you're gonna still submit to your man. You're a Christian and everything. And she was like, yeah. And so then when you first wake up, you have to wake up early to make sure he's good before you start your day, because he comes first before your day. To make sure your man's good, you'll be good, right? And that was just such a hard thing for him to unravel because how much times has changed,
right?
And how much and a lot to do with their experiences in the past too. That's a major part of it. Because like the guys of the past that they're dealing with when they're younger and making not so good decisions, and those guys were not the best guys and they're doing them dirty. They carry that. So it's a lot.
Yeah, the main thing that I took from when that guy started talking was the respect factor.
The respect. Instead of love.
Respect is so... I would say it's more important than love.
Yeah, for men.
Like, seriously, because with respect comes a lot of righteousness and positivity behind it.
You'll feel the love from the respect.
Yeah, because the respect shows that you value me. That's how you express value. You know what I'm saying? And not even just with men, women too. Like, respect in general. Like, respect goes way further. Because you're going to be more studious and more prompt to want to do right if you respect what you're dealing with or respect your you know what I mean? So that's
it makes you more obligated towards your duty on their behalf. It's like you don't want to let them down out of respect.
Yeah. Respect. I'm telling you,
it's like a coach.
Respect. Yeah, respect.
Coach, player, wherever you want to
respect
say.
Gives you
Teacher,
discipline.
Student.
Yeah, it gives you discipline. It gives you
child.
Righteousness, positivity, all that. Like, But yeah, that was crucial. That's what hit for me. I was like,
because that respect factor is huge. Because like that includes even when you're not the happiest. Happy, did I say it right?
Even if you're not,
if you're not the most happy,
if you're not the most happy or at your happiest in the situation that you're in,
yes,
right?
Exactly. Yeah, even in that state, out of respect, you still do not go down that rabbit hole of negativity with that person.
Exactly.
For the greater good,
exactly,
for the cause. So yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that shit really hit me. That's why I know we went from hip hop in the halftime in the Super Bowl, all that, to the straight dating.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was like, that shit hit me different because like with how they open it, how they talk about the numbers being skewed and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
I noticed that shit. And whenever I talk about dating, I'm not just talking. A lot of people think I'm like projecting or I'm internalizing or speaking from my experiences. I'm looking at everybody. I look at I see the experiences you go through. I see the experiences Rob goes through. My other homies, Stanley, Corey, Josh. I can start naming all of them and everything. You know, Kenny. I see all my friends. I have my experiences, my friends' experiences, my family members' experiences, and the experiences I see online. And I use pattern recognition. And what are these things that are like going on with these experiences down the line? And my final assessment is like, this is a problem, and that's a problem. This is a problem with guys, and that's a problem with girls, and this is a problem with guys. Because there's a problem on both sides at the end of the day.
Right.
But it's like, the guys are more willing to do what it takes to become better.
Right.
I'm just going to be real.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep it real, man. And I appreciate, and that's why to all the women out there, all the real women out there that would be called so-called pick-me's. I hear that term every now and then. Mm-hmm. The ones that would be called pick-me's because they're real-ass women that don't just follow the code, the herd, the echo chamber, and all that shit. And wherever it's trendy and wherever fuck they tell you to do, you just go along and do it. But you know better and know that your purpose on life is to create life, to nurture, to be there, support. The power that comes from that. I don't know why, women want to be men so bad. And that shit irks me, bro.
I think that's part of a social engineering
that's
taken place over the decades.
It's fucking us up, bro.
I don't think it's instinctively something that women want.
It's not in their nature. It's not innate.
I think that's a social
It's
engineering.
a socially is programmed.
Yeah.
And it's hurting us. It's hurting all of us, bro.
Yeah.
Because when I could deal with a chick and she could be so masculine and it turns me off, bro.
Some dudes like that.
I know. But that's the problem. The problem. Those guys fuck it up for us.
Because I'm gonna be honest. I like a woman that's in shape. Even if you're more in shape than you got some muscle definition to you. That can look hot. That can look sexy.
Feminine friendly.
That can look fine.
Fit, feminine friendly.
Yeah, I like that,
Exactly.
I don't mind that because maybe you could put me on game. Get me to where you're at. I mean, even though I'm not completely out of shape, don't get me wrong, but if you're better than me in that department, then you could put me on game. What are you doing? Put me on.
Yeah.
So
yeah, a lot of girls be doing that yoga and shit.
Yeah,
keeping that.
I want to get back into yoga too.
Yeah, I've done yoga.
When I worked for the YMCA. When I worked for the YMCA, I did yoga for 3 years.
See?
Yeah,
I done yoga. I did yoga for at least 2.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I started off by myself and then I started doing classes.
Yeah,
going 50-minute classes.
Right.
50-minute session.
You have another clip, or you want me to?
I was gonna go to the next topic.
Okay. You want me to go to my question that?
Yeah. You do your part first.
Because it's kind of in line with what you're talking about, men and women dynamic and dating.
Yes.
So I have a question to the public, for you too, for anybody. This is for anybody. Anybody can answer it, but it's mainly directed towards men. Okay. Is it okay for a man to be emotional? And you got to think, and I know it's somewhat of a broad question, but is it okay for a man to be emotional, or is it okay for a man to express emotion? Now it can be a lot to unpack. You just gotta.
I got the answer.
You got answers. You got
Yeah,
answers.
yeah.
You got you.
I got the answers to both. I'm gonna be short. I'm gonna be short and concise.
So what do you think about the question itself? Like,
it's not a bad question.
Is
it's definitely a necessary question to ask because women love this question.
Is it okay for a man to be emotional? Now,
yeah, women love this question.
I have an answer, but I want to hear your take on it. Go ahead.
Okay. Men being emotional, like just in general.
Yeah, is it okay for a man to be
in
emotional?
front of their woman or just in general?
Just in general.
Like,
should we suppress the emotion or should we be allowed to express it when necessary?
Stoicism's key. Stoicism's key. Only express when necessary. Like, and
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, when necessary.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. And that's like death in the family, or death in the family. What was like?
Matter of fact, I was
or like something just crazy just happened to someone close to you, and like maybe they're in the hospital or just something shocking. I don't know, or you lose a pet, like a close family pet, like it's just got to be like such extreme stuff. And like okay, prime example, you lost your job or they were picking on you at work. And you just like you just wanna, you don't know what to do, so you're just upset, you cry. Like, of course, the first thing I think emotional is cry, but like, okay, let's say you act angry. We could use different emotions. Okay, where I want to say stoicism's ideal. Someone upsets you at work, you're a man, you get upset, you express that emotion. Now you're just this angry ass dude. Yeah. That seems like unstable and like unhinged. And people are like, something wrong with him? What's going on? Like, just because someone upsets you, now you got to take it out on everyone else because you want to express your emotions. It just comes off kind of redundant.
I created a question in the chat, so if anybody hops in and wants to answer it, I said, is it okay for men to be emotional? So we'll see. Yes or no. We'll see. If anybody hops in, maybe not, I don't know. But anyways, so I feel I agree with you for this. I think we're on the same page. Like, I think you don't want to completely suppress emotion because then you're essentially not a human, you're a robot, and that will lead to other problems psychologically. Exactly. So you do want to express it, but only express it strategically when necessary. That's what I think. You should express it, when you absolutely have to, or if it's with your woman that you've been with for years, you have a committed relationship and y'all are trying to communicate and work things out, then I think in those instances it can be okay a little bit, but you don't want to go off the hinges. See, there's levels. There's levels to it though. You know what I'm saying? I don't know
if you noticed when you first said with your woman.
No. I'm saying like there's levels to the emotional expression barometer. You know what I'm saying? Like there's different levels to it. Obviously, you want to keep it tamed, but you want to express it enough to where your emotional point gets across to the other person. But you don't want to go off the rails either, But you don't want to have no emotion at all because then, like, how does the woman even get to feel you or
and they
talk
need
to
that.
you?
They need that.
Yeah. So there needs to be a balance, I guess. It's somewhere in the 100%. Middle. Yeah.
Like guys, we cannot be. And here's some more game for some of the guys out there that want to just be like, oh, I can't ever show my emotions. Like, you can't be a fucking robot, bro.
Yeah, or you can't be mundane and just indifferent and just
monotone.
Monotone. And just nothingness because then women aren't going to want to.
They're not gonna. They gotta feel something.
They're not gonna be intrigued or curious to talk to you or to get to know you.
Show like remind her that you love her. Remind her that you like her. Remind her that you're still interested in her. You know. Even if it's just some weird ass corny kisses behind her back.
Yeah. Like, you got to give that every now and then.
Just do something.
Yeah, you got to give her flowers or like.
Just surprise. Just like shit.
Surprise, like here,
Shit, Happy Meal.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Happy Meal. You went all the way cheap. Oh my God, she might throw that away in front of your face. Be like,
I'm not. Now that might be me internalizing. I say I don't do that much. I don't do that much. Bruh, if I say that.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
We have another clip.
Yeah,
Roll to the next clip.
Thank you. Saved me on that one.
Roll to the next
clip.
If you could pull it up.
My clip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feminism.
Yeah,
yes.
Yep.
That's my next.
Yeah.
Rollo and I are all about the description, not the prescription.
This
What
is a
we're
whole
trying to
clip,
explain to people is that as we go forward, there's a small group of men who have a ridiculous access to women because of social media, and a large group of men who have no access at all. And because those men don't have access, you see angrier and angrier groups of men. I had Richard Reeves; he's a PhD on my show. He was working for the Deputy Prime Minister in the UK, and he's a senior fellow at the Brookings Institute, a serious academician. And he was saying, because academics did not want to have the conversation about men falling behind, that's why Andrew Tate had that conversation, and that's why he became so popular so fast, because academics didn't even want to acknowledge that there could possibly be a problem where men were falling behind, as far as relationships that were concerned, as far as jobs were concerned, as far as education was concerned. 5% of psychologists under the age of 30 are men. 5%. Do you understand what's going to happen to the entire field of psychology?
Well, yeah, in 2050, women will essentially take over.
Therapists,
there are more female military pilots than there are male kindergarten teachers. Like, we have gotten to the point where there are certain institutions where men have completely fallen behind, while women have gotten into accounting, becoming doctors, and some of them getting into engineering. Men did not become nurses. Men did not become kindergarten teachers. And so we are having this large group of men that are unwanted and somewhat feel unnecessary. And 68% of college graduates are female. 60% of people in college are female. And so because of that, you have a bunch of women who are trying to become the men that they wanted to marry, and they look at the men that they left behind, and there's nothing there for them. On Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge, 83% of right swipes go to 20% of men. 20% of men are getting 83% of the right swipes. That is incredibly imbalanced. That means 80% of men are competing for 17% of women. And then you wonder where all this anger and angst comes from. So if feminists can get out there, the new Barbie movie can come out, all this type of shit can happen. But you have to remember these men exist. And if you don't, that's when these massive problems happen. I'm not trying to criticize any of you. I'm just saying, in general, in society, we try to sweep these men under the rug and act like they don't exist because they don't have luck with women. And that's the reason why. That's the problem. Is because, and then when women complain about men, they're complaining about men who cheat, and to a bunch of men who are like, cheat? I've never had a girlfriend. How the f am I going to cheat?
I think that there's a fundamental misunderstanding and chasm between men and women. I think that essentially the red pill movement was a response to postmodern feminism, the fourth wave of feminism, in the same way that postmodern feminism was a response to how women felt towards men, and I think men weren't expecting it. I think they were shocked. I think they were uncomfortable. I think that they couldn't really understand the level of vitriol that women really have for men. But I think right now the pendulum is swinging to now we're talking about men. We're focusing on them. But I also see that there's seeds of disdain and hatred. Like you say, women, they you're focusing on this point that women cheat, right? And that's their main thing. But
wait, women cheat or men cheat? What are you talking about? I'm confused.
Well, you were saying earlier that what did you say about cheating just a few minutes ago? You're talking about how
why men cheat.
Oh, was it?
It was about why men. It's
why
from a socioeconomic standpoint, a man. Because I have some friends of mine. Even before I was, financially successful, I'd go hang out with them in their nice apartment in Miami.
Right.
And the number of women that were just hitting them up, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ! How is this possible? They had infinite options, and then my buddy who worked at CVS had no options, and there was no middle ground.
What is he doing? Huh? The man at CVS, is he going out? Is he making himself available? It's not all about online. It's kind of ridiculous to think that people only date by going online. I don't even have online dating apps. I meet people outside in real life.
A lot of the time nowadays, a lot of women would just be completely turned off by a man that says that he works at CVS. So
that's not true though, bro. I see people that are mentally challenged, not to go on a loop with anything. I see people that have serious things going on, and they find happiness, and they find someone else. You know what I mean?
Exceptions not the rule, though. I was gonna say, let her talk. Let her talk.
Wait, did you date someone who was?
You know what I'm saying? No, but I've seen it. We've all been in school. We've all went to public school, private school, high school, whatever. You see a bunch of things. You see people make it. They make movies about certain people, like anybody, there's
I wouldn't
There's
trust
8
myself.
billion people. There's there's someone out there for
I
everybody.
think
Like
his
that's
point
just
is
point
that
blank. Period.
It's harder to find someone equal.
It's hard to find
standing.
somebody equal if you're just doing the same thing every day and you live the same repetitive life cycle and you're not doing anything different.
But why,
You know what I'm saying?
why we have to be equal? If men and women is different.
Yeah,
yin and yang.
It's So the thing is, because there are so many ways to sedate men, and remember, if you're an attractive woman, the thing, you don't have to accomplish as much in order to be attractive to the opposite sex. Whereas a man, you do. And if we live in a society now with through things online, etc., those things will sedate men, and so that group of men that you said, what is he doing the same thing every day? Yes, he's doing the same everything every day because that's easier for him to do. Let me tell you something. Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out next year.
Yes,
that motherfucker is a $2 billion with a B, $2 billion budget for that video game. That thing is going to ruin my business and ruin my relationship. Okay, like there's so many ways as a man to sedate yourself, but we as men have this burden of achievement that we have to achieve certain things in order to be attractive to the opposite sex. And women, I'm not saying women don't achieve things, it's just that your ability to achieve things is not directly correlated to how attractive you are. Does it make sense?
I get what you're saying for sure.
Like we're saying, you can lay around.
Wait, you don't think women's attractiveness matters when it comes to men selecting?
No, he's saying that in terms of her like net worth value or income, it doesn't matter nearly as much as it does to men.
But there are other factors that men prioritize in women, because I mean, like the outputs of like between men and women are not going to be the same, so we're going to value different things in each other, right? So like a woman would be attracted to success, whereas a man would be attracted to, let's say, beauty. Whatever, like right.
Yeah,
right.
Most people to be youthful and beautiful, you don't have to actually achieve anything. You
I understand
a lot of the times are born with that desirable trait.
Consider a situation where you have a male and female and they're twins, and one of them is the male and he just sits there and smokes marijuana, sits on a hacky sack and plays video games all day and becomes like he doesn't accomplish anything. And then you have his twin sister who's stunningly beautiful, also smokes marijuana, plays video games. She has a dating advantage over him. He has the burden of achievement. He must achieve, he must accomplish he must become something in order for him to win. And the problem is, this is something Rollo and I talk about all the time, is that the world is so filled with sedation. I find myself going down these YouTube holes and I have to like stop myself. Like it's you could sit there and watch endless hours of footage. You can watch anything. It's not even brainwashed. It's just there's things that when I have to tell my girlfriend all the time, it's like it's work time now. When I'm working, I just think about how hard I have to work to accomplish what I did. We're gonna have our first $600,000 month this month. Okay, when I think about all the work I had to do that, and when I think about how hard it must be, like well, other guys are not doing this. How the fuck are they going to be able to accomplish things when there's so many distractions? I come from a time where if I was distracted, my dad would go get a paddle and make me undistracted very quickly. It was a very different time, but it's the 1970s, 1980s. Right? And so because of the way things are now, you have these men who are very easily distracted. They're being told that they don't need to be masculine. They're being told that they don't need to have the ability to focus. And they're also being told that their ability to accomplish things is not that important. And that's just not true. If you're a man, you are not a special snowflake. If you're a man and you want to go the rest of your life and never get laid, it's very easy to do. You can just sit around. You will never get laid. It's not very difficult at all. If you're a man and you don't ever want to run a 7-figure business, it's very easy to do that. You can just sit around. It'll never happen for you. But that's the difference, right? So what you're saying before, as men, because they have the burden of performance, they're always going to be behind the 8 ball, and things get more and more distracting as new video games and new movies and new augmented reality and new pornography comes out. It becomes more and more difficult, or rather a larger and larger cohort of men get left behind.
Can I ask how you would say to fix that issue? So lazy people are going to be lazy. I'm a firm believer that a man can have all like the paddle and stuff and still be lazy. Do you think it's more so that men should just hold their expectations to, and this would play into the women as well, is they are to date equal? So the twins,
men date equal. Men don't get to date equal most of the time.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Wouldn't that fix that?
And women don't. Women generally will date up.
If women started dating more equally, wouldn't that fix the issue?
Yeah, but you can't tell. It's evolutionary psychology. You can't make women date equally. Women are going to, like, attraction's not a choice. Women are going to choose.
In some countries, attraction is a choice.
Well, yes. Well, some countries, marriage isn't a choice, but yeah, attraction generally not a choice. But I'm very much like with Richard Cooper on this. I'm just going to enjoy the decline. I do think men in 50 years will be fucking robots. And there'll be a small group of us who are still fucking cowboys out there, going out there, knowing how to speak to women, knowing how to, like, when there's a fire, we're the ones still pulling people out of the burning house. We're still the ones who are willing to pull you out of the car after a car wreck. We're still those guys who are willing to do that. But I think we're going to see fewer and fewer of those men in the future.
Instead of like using the word lazy to describe these like group of men that like, you know, are distracted or like not getting laid or like can't really find like their woman, like wouldn't you have more compassion for them? And
there's a huge lack of
that is my compassion. I'm telling you why they exist, right? They exist.
Hold on just a sec. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, he was cooking.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say.
No. Okay. So, what I was gonna tackle with Michael Sartain is that it's like there's like a discrepancy in the balance, and that's where it comes back to the average thing. Like, it all connects. It all goes back with both the clips.
Yeah.
And why I use these clips together is that it's like this inflation of self-worth that is being pushed and pushed and pushed. And what happens from that is that you have these experiences because, like, here's the thing about those guys that are being referred to, those certain tier of guys.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. You know, most guys that have the pick of the litter, and every guy wants to be smashing. It's gonna be smashing. How are they gonna be like, man, I'm not good. I'm gonna just be like, no. I'm gonna look out for these guys. Hey, nigga, all you gotta do is just come, hey, get a little bit like this, and then you can get some of this too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they're thinking. Like, but until then, I'm gonna keep eating. You know. Mm-hmm. But they want those guys to be better. Those small group of guys to be better for the masses of guys. But you could be better by just not opening your legs. So, but you open your legs to those guys, and now you think that's your tier, but then your actual tier, the ones who would commit to you, you friend zone or you string along and shit.
Well, the thing is like, what are you in it for?
Exactly.
With the women. Are you in it to be taken serious or not?
Well, most guys early on, ironically, most guys are actually thinking seriously. The dogs don't come out early for most guys. The dogs come out after a heartbreak.
Yeah, right. But what I'm saying is from the women's standpoint, it's like, exactly. What are you in it for?
Exactly.
Are you in it to just bum, just couch surf and bum and resources and not be taken serious? Or are you in it to be taken serious and build something legitimate?
I'm gonna be honest. This is hidden knowledge, bro. I'm sorry, ladies. Most of y'all, when y'all first start dating, are just dating for the experience, for the time, for the moment.
You say most of them are like that?
Most of them are literally dating like that. In this modern day, in modernity, most women date for the experience. They're in the moment. They're not thinking long term at all. Most of them, no. They're just in the moment. So they will reject the guy that will probably be the best long term guy, but in that moment, they had a better option that was entertaining them. Even though that motherfucker ain't shit in the long run, at that moment, he was funner. He was more entertaining. He was more entertaining. He was cooler. He was more edgier. He was better. And for those reasons alone, even though this guy might not had it all there, but he showed way more genuine interest than just like sexualizing you. And that's what happens. It's a vicious ass cycle.
Strong take.
I know. It's a strong, honest take. What have I said that's wrong? Hey, guys in the back. What have I said that's wrong? Everybody.
They might have some disagreements.
No, I doubt they will.
I'm kidding. I don't know.
This is every guy. We're speaking from, because like we see, like we have to understand the female perspective to get women. So, but the women don't have to understand men to have men. So we have to understand women. So I can understand the female's perspective. That's why I can understand when women are getting done dirty and all this other stuff. I can feel for them. I can understand that. But like they don't see when we try to be the good guy and we see what's going on. And then when we're not the good guy, we see what works out for us. And then it's like, damn, bro, I'm an asshole. I'm getting all this shit, but I'm not an asshole by heart. I don't want to be this asshole, but then when I'm an asshole, that's when you actually show me this shit, but it's not genuine.
Okay,
it's
so
a vicious ass mind fuck.
Let me ask you a question then. Since we're on this percentage game, homie was throwing out a lot of percentages.
Yeah.
What percentage do you think women are like that, as far as like 90%. Catering to the asshole and leaving the good guy in the dust? What is the percentage in your head that says that
I got two answers.
What's your percentage?
Early on, 90%. When they get older, like late 20s to 30s, it becomes like 60%. 60. It's still like a majority, but it's like way lesser of a majority.
So you feel like 90%?
And then like once you get to late 30s, 40s, then they definitely are going to tolerate nice guys. Because like most of the finest girls I had were the older ones.
I'm giving you why.
I'm just saying the finest girls I've had are older ones.
Well, I'm asking you a blanket, like, okay,
I'm a nice guy.
Women between the ages of 21
those are
to 38.
Yeah, okay.
In that bracket, what percentage do you think
for a nice guy?
Is blowing off the good guy for the not so
70.
good guy? 70
or 80.
So you think majority, pretty much, of women are like that? Oh,
for sure.
Are you saying that from a scorned position perspective, or are you saying
like
that?
That's why I mentioned that before.
I'm playing devil's advocate because
no, you are. But that's why I prompt that, because I'm not thinking about myself. I'm thinking about everyone I know and everyone I've seen and myself. I think about myself along with everyone else. I'm not prioritizing myself. I'm just looking at it from I know a lot of nice guys. Yeah. I know, like, from family members to friends, and then the nice guys I see online, and then I'm not a nice guy. So I just use all of us together. I'm like, damn.
I'm not going to say I'm an asshole, but I'm not, like, a super gullible. I mean, I'm a nice guy.
You're a nice guy.
I am a nice guy.
But you're not gullible.
But I'm not gullible.
You're not a simp.
I'm not,
being a nice guy doesn't make you a simp.
Right.
There's levels to that shit.
Right.
If you're just like tricking and do all this stupid shit.
Right.
But if you're a nice guy, that means you treat women with respect.
Right.
Because like the niggas that don't tend to be the ones that whenever I didn't treat a woman with respect was when I dogged them out the most. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
But it's a fucked up reality. I'm dead ass. This is hidden knowledge. I'm sorry, ladies. But whenever I was an asshole was when I had the most fucked up fun with y'all. Recreationally. But then when I was nice to y'all, then it was like most of the time I got rejected. But then my longest relationships, ironically, was like this indifference thing where like I'll be nice, but then I wouldn't tolerate. And then I'll be nice, but then I wouldn't tolerate. And then that cat and mouse game got me relationships. Why has it got to be a game? Why can't I just be myself? If I like you, I just want to be nice. But then I'm just like, oh, friends, maybe, let's take it. And I'm not ready yet. And, string along. It's a vicious cycle. And like we're trying to adapt. Men are adaptive creatures. Like we're trying to adapt and try to adapt to the market. Okay, if that's what they say, if that's what they want, okay, let's do that. Oh well, that's not working. Okay, well, that works, but I don't like where I become out of that. But it's just that's what we're going through. That's what we're going through, bro. I'm MGTOW, bro. By the way, hidden knowledge. MGTOW is a man going their own way. I've checked out the game. I'm over 2 years. Everybody I tell about this,
he's checked out the game because he's tired of y'all women. No, I'm playing. I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
I
was just speculating.
It's two things. I'm not up there. I'm not up to par, and I know even if I do become up to par, the women that I deal with are likely not going to be up to par as well. So it's like, you're damned if I do, damned if I don't.
So you got to make a choice. Then you got to either get out of that. You don't put yourself in that mental conundrum, or you need to like step out of it and like give yourself a fighting chance. You can't, because that's sounding like you're giving
Doomers.
up. You're giving up. Like you're.
I've been bouncing back and forth.
Yeah, it sounds like
doomers. It's like taking a break because I'm like, man, I already know this shit.
It sounds like you're just not even giving
I would
yourself.
never hang it up. I would never hang it up. But I do see the writing on the wall.
It sounds like you're just not giving yourself an optimistic chance at all with women. Like, and that's not cool.
I'm being probable over possible. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? And that's what people don't like. It's the truth. It's a cold hard truth. I'm always I don't gamble. Possible is a gamble. Sorry.
So
I was with my cousin, bro. I was just gonna say this one last thing.
Yeah.
I was with my cousin. At some point, she was like, "So when you gonna settle down, get married and stuff?" I'm sorry. This is hidden knowledge. We speak the truth. My cousin has 3 boys. She's going through things with her marriage. Probably gonna not end well. She's telling me I should get married. I'm a nice guy. I can easily choose the woman to marry and be right there on the other end where my cousin is. I don't want to be that guy.
So what do you want to be?
I want to be safe.
But isn't safe kind of like a cowardice kind of position to take? Because if do you want a woman at all in your life?
Fuck yes, of course. I want. I need kids. I need little Hortons.
Okay, so
I need to have an army.
At some point, you're gonna have to stop being safe. I mean, in order to make it happen, I'm just saying.
See, that's gambling, though, bro.
It's not. Well, I mean, some things are a gamble. Sometimes you have to take risk in order for something to pop off.
See, I like high efficiency.
Even
risk.
in business, you got to take chances.
I like high efficiency risk. The thing is about even with this podcast, I know we're gonna be good because it's us just being ourselves.
Right.
When it involves like another human being for the rest of your life, like we could be ourselves, and here on this podcast, it's not gonna affect anything. But like when it's like intertwined and starting a family, I don't know, it's just different.
Hey, at some point, you're going to have to take that chance. I mean, if you want to, because some things, high risk, high reward, you can do calculated chances and calculated risk, but it's still a risk or a chance.
You're right, though. No, honestly, I need to stop fighting this shit. You're right.
Yeah, at some point.
For the most part, you're right.
Yeah, because if you want kids, if you want a woman, if you want kids, at some point, you're going to have to.
You know what? I'll say this as I was scratching my little ear. But I'll say this. What it is that I just gotta find a woman that is, have a similar mindset. That's gonna, follow my lead. I just want to be like.
Well, you gotta.
I'm a traditionalist.
Okay.
Man.
Well, in order
I gotta get my shit right though.
In order to find that, you gotta stop being safe.
I gotta get my shit right.
Okay.
And that's why I play it safe because I know I don't got my shit right.
But if you find the right woman though, she can assist you. And booster and expedite that process.
So you think I should even start right now?
I feel like sooner the better.
I got some shit I got to fix first.
I'm just saying, if you find the right woman, she can give you an assist like Chris Paul. I'm just saying.
I do like Chris Paul. That was a good reference.
I was just saying.
CP3 is a G.
Yeah.
All right, man.
But okay, we're gonna switch complete gears. We're gonna go to the clip that I have. We're gonna. This is on a more serious, educational, knowledgeable, type deal.
Bring your expertise. I did my time with my dating shit.
So this is gonna be. It's not gonna be too long, but yeah, we can. If Quincy, you can go ahead and play that if you want to.
By the way, in the post I made discussing the suspected white supremacists who got off with the attempted murder of drowning this kid or trying to drown this kid. There was a brother who hopped in the comments. He was like, man, we need to stop calling these people white supremacists. Ain't nothing supreme about him. I don't want to use that term. Ain't nobody supreme. He ain't supreme. Listen, okay, let me school everybody. When we talk about what white supremacy is, y'all got to be very honest, family. We're in warfare. This is war. This is war. In warfare, you got to be honest. Do y'all understand what I'm saying to you? You got to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, in warfare. You can't sit here lying to yourself in warfare. When you lie to yourself and you're in denial about the position you're in, because we're in a system of white supremacy, that's the reality. Now, you can try to deny that. You can put your head in the sand. That's not going to change the reality. And when you are in warfare, you got to be very, very honest about your position. Number one, so that you can create strategies. Because if you are in denial, you're going to lack strategy. You're going to lack adaptation. If you refuse to acknowledge when somebody has one up on you, you won't adjust your strategy. That's going to make you even more vulnerable. You understand? Also, if you sit up here in denial, you're missing opportunities to come up with reinforcement that prevents you from seeking alliances with other folks who are on the same page, understanding that we're in warfare, or negotiating better terms. It just messes you up being in denial. It prolongs suffering. That's why we've been suffering so long. Too many of us have been in denial. We've been sitting up here talking about ain't no white supremacy. We've been saying that shit too long. That's the problem. Refusing to recognize a losing position, that leads to continual casualties, wasted resources, and then irreversible damage if you let the shit go on. That's like you getting a wound on your leg and you ignore it. You see? Or you get a bump under your arm or something. You get a strange piece of mass in your body and you ignore it. You can ignore it and then it grows. You ignore it some more. It's itching, but damn it, that ain't nothing. That's just a pimple. And then what you keep ignoring it, and all of a sudden it's cancer. And then you can't reverse it. See, we've been letting cancer grow without acknowledging it. We got to acknowledge the cancer and cut that shit up out of here. We got to cure the cancer. You got to acknowledge it first. You understand? Because if you sit up here in denial, that's like psychological weakness. That makes you weaker psychologically and it gives you false confidence because see, you'll get a delusionary belief in a victory that you don't have, and then you'll become complacent. And that makes you blind to the real threats that's still going on. You understand? You don't want to be just a blind sitting duck, sitting up thinking that you're winning. No. We got to be very, very honest about shit. Because also being in denial, that lets the enemy control your narrative. You know, that keeps you mentally enslaved while they tighten the grip. They want you to be in denial. They want you to think it's something else besides them. You see? You better understand how this game works. And also, if you sit up in denial, that's going to cause an inability to build a resistance movement. You're not going to resist nothing, and if you're in denial about it, if people don't believe they're under siege, they won't fight back. You understand what I'm saying? If you don't believe that these people got a supreme position over you, you ain't going to fight back. You're going to sit on your ass. You allow the enemy to strengthen their position. You see? And then what happens is delusion becomes cultural, then generational. And people in denial, you start passing down a weak, submissive mindset, making future generations incapable of identifying and resisting oppression. That's what's going on in a lot of these other countries over here, especially in Africa. People were in denial. Let me use that as an example. And I'm not trying to beat up on Africans, but there's a reason why things are in shambles. Because people, they don't even understand white supremacy at all over there. Because the white supremacists put black faces as their guard dogs.
We just talked about this.
So the people over there, they have no clue for the most part of how pervasive white supremacy is and how it's orchestrated over there. That's why things are in shambles. They don't know what to do at all. There's just zero resistance against white supremacy there. And then it's passed down. It becomes cultural. It becomes generational, just being in denial and not fighting against oppressive systems. You see? We better understand the importance of being honest about your position. See, the white supremacists, they know the importance of being honest about when they're losing. They learned,
Quincy,
for example, about that in the Seminole War.
If you could fast forward like halfway into the video and then pick it up right there, if it's possible.
The Jews had slavery going on, dude. They try to break it up, rewind it like 60
seconds. Rewind it like 60 seconds.
Allow white supremacy,
and then we can pick it up right there.
Rebranded as just bias or racial division or little segregation. See, we allow the system to minimize the impact. See, no. We have to call it what it is because they came up with the term white supremacy. That's their word. So we have to let them eat it and own it. Don't let them break it off in little digestible pieces. Well, there's a little hatred here. There's a little tension. There's some racial tensions. You know, there's a little discrimination over here. They just try to break it up in little nuggets. No. It's white supremacy. It's a big old system. No, it's not a little segregation over there in that little area. No, it's a system. It's a whole big ass system. We have to look at it like that. And also acknowledging white supremacy by name, that helps us understand the historic patterns. See, history showed us that white supremacy is not just an ideology. It is a structured system that has adapted over time. It adapts. That's why you keep getting confused because it's the same thing, but it just keeps adapting. But it's the same thing. They use different terms. It's the same thing. Like slavery, white supremacy, Jim Crow, white supremacy, redlining, white supremacy, mass incarceration, white supremacy, voter suppression, white supremacy, segregation, white supremacy, apartheid, white supremacy. It's all the same thing, just different names. None of these things are different. It's all the same.
That's all I'm saying.
You see? But they'll have us chasing down 10 different so-called ideologies, and it's fruit falling from the same tree of white supremacy. I look at the tree. There's a reason why y'all notice every time some of these white supremacists call up here, what do? Listen, Tarek, it's not really white supremacy, dude. It's the Jews, dude. It was the Jews, dude. The Jews had slavery going on, dude. They try to break it up in little groups. That's a tactic. I call that the chasing your tail tactic. They just want you to chase your tail nonstop indefinitely.
The fact that he still
it's
has
the
this
white
level
Hispanics,
of
dude.
charisma after
Zimmerman wasn't even white. He was Hispanic, dude.
It's admirable. You gotta respect it.
They try to play that game. All of it is white supremacy. All of it is white supremacy. And we have to be real about it. We have to be honest about it because, see, Black empowerment, ladies and gentlemen, it comes from facing reality, not denying reality. Yeah? Some people say, like, if we speak about white supremacy, that'll make Black people sound weak. We think we sound weak if we speak on white supremacy. To acknowledge that people are in a superior position over you, which is just true.
You see our logo.
But acknowledging an obstacle, that doesn't mean you're submitting to it. It's okay to acknowledge it. We're not submitting to it. That means, family, you're preparing to overcome it. Listen, when I talk about white supremacy, I don't talk about it from a position of, oh, Lord, woe's me, what is I gonna do? I talk about it boldly, like, bitch, I see you. And I ain't gonna let you stop what the I'm trying to do. That's how I look at it. When I talk to the white supremacists, I go in on them. I don't talk to them in a position of fear. I'm not afraid of them. My ancestors weren't afraid of them. When we were out here fighting in these maroon wars and slicing and dicing their asses up in these swamps, they weren't afraid. I got that energy. I ain't afraid of them.
Historically.
So I'm going to acknowledge them.
For sure.
And let them know, I see you. You ain't going to stop what I got going over here, but I see you. That I acknowledge them to let them know I see them. And I'm telling you, Dr. Welsing taught us just acknowledging white supremacy. That's like when you turn on a light and roaches start scrambling. See, when you put a light on something, especially something as degenerate as white supremacy, that's half the battle, just the acknowledgement of it. Because once you acknowledge it, they start scurrying and scampering around. You understand? Because it's built on a cowardly disposition. You feel me? Going back to insects, like an ant ain't shit. If you see an ant ain't shit. You can just step on an ant. Now, if you fall down and you see a bunch of army ants, and there's about 13 million army ants, now you got a problem. They start biting and chomping on you because they're working as a group. Now you got a problem. Now they got a little system going on. One army ant ain't shit. 13 million of them, that's a problem. And 13 million of them on code, that's a problem. You see?
I think it's coming up.
And that's their strength. Their strength is being on code. And also with white supremacy, their strength relies on black denial. Yeah? See, the system of white supremacy, it don't rely just on racist laws. It relies on confusion, denial, and division within us. And if we refuse to call it what it is, we allow it to morph into new forms. So we have to always keep our eye on it and see what new forms it's taking so that we can be ready and prepared to combat it. That's why I like the delineation thing we got going, because one of their new tactics is, again, going back to the lineage. The new tactic of white supremacy is getting people from a different lineage who they know don't have a camaraderie with us, people who desire to be white, and they like to use their melanin as a weapon against us, because we're the main target as foundational Black Americans. We have always been the main target because we've been the only group consistently on code enough to combat them, because we're the only group of Black people who ain't really tribal. And there's a lot of us. You see, over in Africa, they can control people very easily because there's so many damn tribal groups. And those tribal groups, they don't correspond with each other. They don't get on code with each other, so they can be neutralized overnight. We're different. We don't have these little tribal groups. So we're on code all around the country to a certain degree. We could be more on code, but enough of us are on code all around the country, meaning, like, I'm out here in California. If I go all the way out to Virginia, I'm gonna meet some Black folks, some FBAs who I'm on the same page with. People from my lineage, we're all on the same page. I go to New York, I go to Harlem, I'm seeing some FBAs we're all on the same page with. I go to Atlanta, I see FBAs I'm all on the same page with. You see? And that's very different from a lot of other places. They ain't on code like that. Now, yeah, we got little internal beefs in certain cities, people, but it's not no tribal thing. There's economic squabbles here and there, but no. We are the only group that has enough people on code, and that's the problem. Because see, white supremacy is all about them being on code with each other through osmosis. They know how to get on code. You get a white man from Florida, he's in a room with a white man from Oregon, they get on code immediately. They know how to get on code with each other without even saying nothing. They know how to get on code.
I've noticed that too growing up.
And that's what they don't want us to be on. They don't want a significant number of us really being on code like that. There was a reason why in the COINTELPRO
it don't matter
papers,
where they come from.
The main objective was, hey, we have to stop Black unity.
COINTELPRO document.
That's what J. Edgar Hoover was saying. The main objective was to stop Black unity here. That's what they're talking about. The Black unity here with us. Because they know that would be a problem. All right. And also, look, naming the system of white supremacy, that's the first step in dismantling it. If you don't name your oppression, you cannot effectively strategize against it. You see? See, the civil rights movement, the Black Panther Party, even the reparations movement now, it began really by clearly identifying white supremacy as the enemy. Yeah? Once you start identifying white supremacy as the enemy and who's all on the team, see, you identify what the enemy is. Okay, that's the enemy. Not all white people, just the white people who believe in white supremacy. That's the enemy.
Yes.
All right, now, who's on my team? People on the lineage, all right? Because we got a lot of people, when we start saying, hey, we need to go for reparations, we need to get compensated for what these people have done to us. Who's the main people saying what we shouldn't get? Okay, Who's raising their hand? Why are these underarms musty? Okay, these are people who ain't from our lineage.
Where they even come
Now that's
from?
a problem. Now we have to delineate from these people who ain't from the lineage, because that's a problem when it comes to us getting tangibles for our lineage. So we just got to understand how honesty is very important in any type of movement and when dealing with warfare, because we are in warfare. I know. Let me talk to the family.
You can stop it there.
Let me talk to you guys and see what's on your mind, because we are in here heavy.
Yeah.
Let's get y'all raise your hand. Y'all raise your hand and let me see who's ready to chop it up.
But yeah,
I must say,
let's raise your hands, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get I see Cool Breeze in here.
You can go ahead and stop it.
Slap a cracker.
Oh yeah.
By the way, in the post I made discussing.
Wow.
There we go. Okay.
Tarek.
Yeah. You know, so basically.
They say his name? Tarek?
Tarek.
Yeah, Tarek. All right, Tarek went off. Man.
Yeah. And I want to say, when he said that last part where whose underarms is musty, he's talking about tethers. What's a tether? Let's clarify what that is real quick. Well, we got a couple minutes. A tether is somebody who is not a Black American, but comes from another country, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a Black country. It could be a Hispanic tether, it could be an Asian tether, it could be whoever. These people are foreigners that come here and deliberately undermine the Black Americans or Black people that are here. You deliberately go against them. And you're from another country. It's the undermining
part.
It's the undermining.
It's not. Right. It's not just not being from here. Because if you respect it,
yeah. If you're from a foreign country, you come here and you're like, yeah, I'm with Black. Hell yeah. Like, forget all this. Like, I'm with y'all. Get y'all's paper. Get y'all's reparations. I'm with y'all. Y'all deserve it because of all the historic strife y'all been through. If you're willing to be on code, if you support the movement, you support the game. You're willing to be on code, then there's no issue. You're not a tether. A tether is someone that's going to come here and be like, a kata. That's a tether. That's a tether, you know?
I definitely support.
Simply put.
That's the reason why Quincy and Marcus love us for not being tethers. Because we definitely support.
Yeah,
we are not with the got the bullshit.
Or you come here and you're like, I don't hang out with those Black American, those Black, like, that's a tether. That's a tether.
Because most of my niggas are FBA.
Yeah, that's a tether. A tether is someone that comes over here.
I was raised in that shit.
You come over here, you reap benefits, and then distance yourself from. You're basically tethering off of the resources that were put here, and you're able to eat off of thanks to the struggle and the movements that were created before you came. That's a tether. You know what I'm saying? So
you know the thing is that our people, like us being Western African and everything, and not being a part of the whole slave trade and everything, but us being first generation and all that, is that we don't see that, like our people, our parents and all that don't see that level of appreciation of the opportunity that they open for us whenever we move here to be treated the way we could be treated.
Right.
Otherwise, if it wasn't for the fight that they did when we move here, we would be treated like...
Oh, yeah. I mean, it would probably still be crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you think that we're moving here for a better life, it would just be the same life, but
just in a different environment.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
So...
But yeah, we just clarify what a tether is. But yeah, shout out to Tariq once again. You know, good clip, you know. But...
Yeah, we ran through that shit.
Yeah. You know, I guess we could close it out.
Yeah. Look, I didn't even get to cover the Cardi B Stephon Diggs thing.
Oh, yeah. But we'll say that.
We're going to say that for the next one. Yeah. But, yeah, I'm sure y'all already know what's going on there. And keep that on till the next episode of Hidden Knowledge. So, yeah.
You gonna plug your?
Yeah, I got my Instagram and my Facebook and all that stuff. You know, my full government name, Facebook, Instagram, the Cameroon Goon. Most of the time, you can find me at the Cameroon Goon on most of the platforms, or Cameroon Goon 57. I don't use that shit though.
Okay,
but yeah,
your boy Juniani. Just you can find me everywhere, all socials. You know, hit me up for merch. Like, subscribe, share, Like, subscribe, share. We never really say that until the end.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, subscribe, share. And then, that's pretty much it, It's Hidden Knowledge Podcast. We out. Peace.